guys, Lover and Kid here. How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another comic review for the books that came out for February the 4th. Hope everybody's well on their end as always. Uh, well, guys, let's get right into the books, really. Uh, yeah. So, as always, as I present my books, it will always be indie, DC underneath, and sandwiched in with Marvel. Alright, so let's kick this off, shall we? We're going to kick this off with a title that has been out, but I just got it. I read about it, I wanted to get it, and they made a collected edition. It's going to, the first 4 issues will come collected in 2 parts, 2 issues, and then they will restart it back up with issue 4 being new. This is Joe Benedez, Lady Mechanica issue 0 and number 1. This was really good. Mr. Benedez, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, does the writing as well. Does the writing, and what's up, Colonel? Sorry, my Kodak went off. But anyway, uh, it's a steampunk world, which I always like. You know, steampunk. I think steampunk is really cool. Um, Lady Mechanica is a individual who has mechanical parts, but she doesn't know where she really comes from. She kind of lost her memory and things like that, and she hunts down, you know, the kind of in a sense she tracks down things that try to hurt people in a sense, or she tries to understand them. But she's not a stone cold blooded killing hunter. Like she really tries to understand why are you like this, and we get to see her character in the issue 0, which was really good. Now I've seen a little bit of this kind of storytelling before. A character who is good at her job, but or his or her job, but doesn't remember who or where she comes from, and it was really interesting. And we get more glimpses of maybe she's catching up with her past, and she don't take shit from nobody. And she makes it perfectly clear there's a douchebag in here. What's his name called? Uh, what is his name? God, what is his name? Um, oh, Blackpool, Lord Blackpool, and he's like kind of interested in catching these creatures too, but doing different experiments on her. So when Lady Mechanic actually gets pissed off because one of the police officers, the sheriff, kills it, and then he's like, he doesn't want it no more because it's not alive. He tries to come after her because she's kind of interesting, and he kind of sends his men at her, and she even says, she's like, "Gentlemen, I warn you, don't come near me." Like, you know, when I was reading this, I felt like I was listening to Kate Beckinsale voice come out of this. So I was like, and I'm like, she's like, "Gentlemen, if you come near me," she's like, "I'm sorry, gentlemen, but I don't want to hurt you." And she just beats the crap out of these guys, and then comes up to Lord Blackpool and just knocks him on the floor and says, "I warn you, Blackpool, stay out of my way. You don't want me as an enemy." And I'm like, ooh. And the woman that is after her, I actually like too. She's really cool too. Her name is what's her name? Uh, Commander Winter. This is how she looks. Badass character. But this is really good. I really enjoyed this. Look forward to issue 2 and 3, and then in March or so, we are caught back up on the series. Good job, Mr. Uh, Benez, Benetes, Benetes. I hope I'm saying your name right, guy. All right, let's move on to Dynamite. The rest of Dynamite here. We got a lot of Dynamite. So we'll start off with Django Zorro #3 issue. Uh, this is Quentin Tarantino and Matt Wagner. Still do a good job with the writing with this. Um, Django is still with his being a bodyguard for a man known as De La Vega. We should all know who that is. And it's really cool the monologuing that we see in this issue where he's talking to himself about why even still he's been out of slavery, he's kind of free, but still he's still seeing bits of slavery still. The One of the characters in here has enslaved a couple of individuals, and he still can see it, and he knows it, he knows slavery when he sees it. um, and he's trying to understand De La Vega. Like he even asks him, he's like, "Why do you socialize with people like this?" And De La Vega says, "I don't. It's not like I'm really socializing. I don't. I hate what they do, but it's my way of getting inside, understanding these people." He talks to De La Vega's like chauffeur who is native, who doesn't speak a lot, and he's talking about him. He's like, "You got any kids?" And he points up and says, "Yeah, two." And Django talks about his wishing he hopes to settle down with Hildy, his wife, and have children. We get a sense where Django's wife is, once again, keeping up with the movie. Um, Brunhilde is in Philadelphia with her aunt, and she's actually a part of the Underground Railroad. She helped slave get to the north, which is really cool. I was like, that makes sense. I thought that was really cool. The biggest thing that happens in this issue is seeing Django finally see El Zorro. He actually gets to see him full in mask, and I thought that was really good. That was a good cliffhanger to leave off on. Well done, Mr. Tarantino and Mr. Wagner. Well done. Red Sonja, Vulture Circle #2. Um, Collins and Lieberman still do a good job with this miniseries. Now you got to remember, this is an older Sonja. She's older. She has now like a school that she teaches women, uh, and she also has I guess you could say, a lover. And we get an indication of where their relationship met and why she shares a bed with him. As you all know, Sonja has this code: no man can touch her and be with her unless you can beat her in a fair fight. Um, my kind of woman. Uh, but we get to see that. Now, things don't go too much according to plan, especially when the big bad of the series comes into focus. And man, Sonya's team of female warriors get hit hard by this individual. I'm not going to spoil who he is, but it was damn good. Very, as when you think Red Sonja, you're thinking blood, and yeah, you see that a lot. But Sonja proves, as I said before, just because she's older, don't mean she can't kick ass, and we see that very much. Good stuff. All right, next up, Dynamite. A title that if you are not reading, I swear you need to get on board. Um, David F. Walker's Shaft #3. Oh my God! Oh my God! Only three issues in, ladies and gentlemen, and this book is fantastic. Mr. Walker, I hear you're gonna start writing Vic Stone. I'm on board with that, dude. I'll be reading that. Um, After Convergence, DC is adding 24 new titles, and Cyborg is getting his own title. Mr. David F. Walker is writing it. I'm on board. But in this issue, Shaft has been suspected of a crime he didn't commit, the death of his girlfriend. Um, However, the person that who is he works for gets pulls some strings to get him out of custody of the police, and the guy even tells him, "Go do what you gotta do. Find the people responsible for killing your woman, make them pay." And that's what Shaft does. He starts to look at clues, find out why, the who, what, where, why, and how, and we get to see the Shaft quickly assessing the crime scene, everything, just showcasing the beginnings of him becoming the cool, great private eye that he will become later on. This was just really good. Very much enjoyed. The storytelling in this is fantastic. The dialogue in this can be a little bit, once again, you got to remember the times. There are a little bit of racial slurs and things here, but if you can get by that, just reading the dialogue, especially from Shaft's point of view, just great. And the artwork, unbelievable. This is just a great series all together. Well done, guys. We move on to Image with Velvet #9. Um, the hunt for answers takes a deadly turn. The secret lives of dead men. Brubaker and Mr. Eben still continue to shell out great storytelling with this very dark, kind of gritty spy espionage title. Velvet is now, or Tempest, that's her real name, is on the leads to finding more answers to why her husband was killed. You get to know more about that. And she finds the person involved. Now it's up to her to get some answers. And the answers aren't coming as easily as she wants it to. And it leads her down, once again, more down that slippery road of, you know, she's being framed for murder again. And she even says, like, once again, you know, the spy, the agency she worked for believes she's a criminal and a traitor and things like that. And Velvet has to stay one step ahead of the game and get the answers that she needs. Good storytelling once again uh, by Mr. Brubaker. As you all know, Mr. Ed Brubaker is one of my favorite writers, and he does not disappoint with this title. Good stuff. Exo Man of War, um, #33. First of all, um, Mr. Mr. Kitna March can't come any sooner because yes, I will be getting Ninjak. I love Ninjak. I used to love Ninjak back in the days. But in this, Mr. Robert Venditti, still you are killing it on Exo Man of War. In this issue, Elric is having dreams of his first wife, the love of his life. Even though now he's in a new relationship, he's remembering, he's having dreams of, and the armor was activated and takes control of him and sends him to a place while he's still asleep. He's just flying up and he's asleep. He's having visions of when he was back in his time, and fighting the Roman Empire and things like that. And you know, he's just remembering being with his the woman that he loved, his wife, who was a Spitfire herself. She didn't take a lot of crap from nobody. I love how she suckered some of these Roman soldiers into, you know, they were just thinking she's innocent, like she won't do anything, and she played them like fools. I thought that was really cool to see, and it's interesting to see where it's going, where this is going, and why the armor brought Alric back to a wreckage. The cliffhanger, really good, had me locked. Looking forward to see where this goes. All right, we move on to Marvel. All right, let's start it off with Angela, Asgard's assassin. I got the variant cover. Um, that variant cover is just fucking amazing. I love that cover. Um, so as always, Mr. Gillian and Margaret Bennett, Miss Bennett. So you're going to be doing an all-female Avengers team called A Force. I'm on board with that, my lady. I'll be checking that out too. Um, Angela still has her little sister, and they are now in the Dark Elf realm. And Angela is just having a lot of fun taking out Dark Elves. Um, and they're still trying to stay one step ahead of Thor and the rest of the Asgardians. Um, Odin has forbid Thor to even try to kill Angela. He's even said it like, you must remember that she is your sister. Both of them are your sisters. Don't kill her. And she's like, well, he's like, yeah, okay. Almost like, yeah, I won't kill her, but I'm gonna hurt her. It's interesting to see the. I will say this. I don't want to spoil too much because this was really good. Angela gets a quote unquote new look, or I should say armor, which was really badass. She also calls in a favor to a few friends from out in the galaxy to help her. Was really interesting. Then Thor and Loki go to a certain goddess of the dead. Come on, people, you should know who I'm talking about. And ask is for her help because once Angela gets in touch with her friends, Heimdall can't find her anymore. Um, and I was like, wow, Heimdall can't see them. Whoa, this is the all-seeing Heimdall. How you not? But yeah, he couldn't find them. And she asks and the ending is just really interesting, especially what Thor says. And I was just like, wow, Thor, like really, dude, you going there? This is interesting. This was good, very good indeed. And Angela's friend, ooh, don't piss her off either. All right, Ant-Man #2. Uh, Code for this is still available, guys, if anybody wants it. Um, this continues to be well written. Um, Mr. Spencer, this is good. So um, Scott is in Florida now because that's where Cassie is. That's where she is now. She's moved down there, so he wants to be close to his daughter. He's still out of work. He hasn't got a job. However, a guy in a cybernetic grizzly bear suit comes after him because he wants payback on Ant-Man. He's like, yeah, payback time, Ant-Man. I'm coming after you. And and he's and then Scott is almost like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. Who I don't even know who you are. And funny because the Ant-Man that this guy in a bear suit is looking for is Eric O'Grady. And I love when they brought it back up. It was so funny. He's like, he's like, what? You know, there are other Ant-Mans beside me. Google it. Guy Googles it up. And he's like, so, so then Scott even says, so what Ant-Man were you looking? What's his name? And he's like, I don't know, but he was a dick. As soon as Scott said it, he's like, oh, Grady. It's like, so I thought that was so funny. And then he's like, so where is he? I want to payback time. And goes into more detail about O'Grady keeping knowledge of what happened in Secret Avengers with O'Grady, which was kind of interesting, which was really interesting, keeping continuity, keeping canon of what series that came before. But it's the main gist is Scott finally he gets the money he needs to start up his own private security solution. He calls it what's it called? He calls it it's at the end because he gets a billboard and everything. Um, he calls an Ant-Man security solution, and he even hires the guy in the bear suit. I don't know who that is, but he even hires him as, you know, his muscle to help. But then it's the ending. Wow, really? Let's just say a certain master who has a lot of tasks needs Scott's help. I was like, ooh, okay, that was good stuff. Uh, Avengers number 41, Hickman Deodato. The funniest thing about this, somebody asked me, but the only problem with this is there is no code. Look at that. It came just like that. There is no code. Um, this book basically takes place in the 1610 universe, the Ultimate Universe. We get to see Nick Fury of the Ultimate Nick Fury talking with Ultimate Reed Richards, who seemed has had a he's basically on the road to redemption now. But we also get to see a lot of different things that I don't want to really spoil. Um, where's the what's it called? The Cabal, where they went to, and we get to see that Gladiator is wants to destroy Earth. I believe the 1610 Earth. Just a lot of stuff is just going on here that just kind of, once again, you got to read a couple of times to understand the gist of what's going on. But good nonetheless. Mike Deodato's artwork is just beautiful, um, and good stuff. Very much. Deodato, one thing, sir. Man, you draw Miles beautifully. Miles is beautiful right there. It's just that I can't tell if he's a grown man or he's just a teenager, but he did a good job. Also, I must admit, there's a scene in here that Ultimate Nick Fury is talking to Reed Richards, and I swear to you right now, it's a scene right out of Captain America Winter Soldier where Cap and Nick Fury are going down and you see all the other helicarriers and things like that. Now, I was like, really? I was like, really? Okay. Black Vortex. This is the first part of, this is where the saga begins. This is the Alpha series. Um, the problem with this is, guys, the whole story arc is that it goes through other titles, and I'm not. I will probably have to just read when I'm in store. I'll just read the titles that I don't read, like Legendary Star Lord and Nova and things like that. But the other titles, okay. You got McGinnis, who's doing the artwork. You have Sam Humphrey, who does the writing, and this was really, really interesting. It was good to see the X-Men and um, Guardians meet again. Storm, and Beast are in this. Uh, Ileana has just become an uber bitch now. I'm just like, yeah, you're a bitch. I can't stand look. I just don't. I love the interaction between Gamora and X-23. That was good. Um, Storm and Carol, of course, they're close, so it was nothing for them. Um, a pretty good, decent action, but good storytelling as well. Don't want to spoil too much in here, uh, but Groot was great to see, and Rocket and 616 Beast, well, older Beast, was amazing. But it was good. This was good nonetheless. Hey, Boo. Hey, Soups. All right. The Punisher, number 15. Man, Frank has been captured by the all new Howling Commandos. Who's giving the orders? Who's pulling the strings? Who gave the order to try to capture him? LA is running amok thanks to a gang, the De La Sola gang. We get to see a lot of interesting details in this that Edmondson just throws at you, but it's such a good way. It's like, hmm. Frank even brings up who gave the order. The leader of the all new Howling Commandos, who his name is Sidewinder, even says like that's way above my pay grade. But we do get to see who gives the orders. It's somebody high up in the United States government, who I believe is like underneath the president. He's keeping the president out in the dark about it. And even Frank even says the government has known about my, his all this time now. All of a sudden, all my actions now the government wants to come sends basically a hit squad after me. And other than that, Frank is still thinking about the family, his family, the last living family he has left. I believe it's his sister and her husband and kids. And it's just really interesting to see how Frank is trying to get inside the heads of the leader of the new Howling Commandos. Like, you're almost like you're a puppet. You don't know who's pulling your strings. You just do whatever you're told without any question. And Frank literally says like, give me who's doing this, and but the one thing you got to do is protect my family. And it just really painted a picture of like they've never really gone this way too much. They've gone certainly with this Punisher. I mean, there was a time when the FBI was coming after Punisher and things like that. But when you're going higher up in the government, then it's like, wow. And we get to see, and the last order that was given to Sidewinder was to kill Punisher. Take him out in the desert, shoot him. Now, did that happen? I'm not going to spoil that. But I will say this to you. Whoever is in the Pentagon, you got trouble coming your fucking way. Right? Yeah. Alright. Star Wars #2. Aarons and Cassidy. Cassidy, stay on the book. Please, sir. I love your artwork. Please stay on. I don't care how long it takes. Just please stay on. This was great. It was funny. Just imagining Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and everybody voicing the characters they did, and Mark Hamill playing Luke, and oh God, it just bring back memory. And in this book, Luke comes face to face with Vader. Now you got to remember this takes place in between New Hope and I guess the Empire Strikes Back. So remember, Vader, I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it's been a while since I've seen the first Star Wars. Vader and Luke never came face to face, correct? So we get to see that. And it went the way I thought it was going to go, I love when they tried to use one of the walkers to squash Vader. I'll spoil that for you. And Vader just used the Force, and he's just crushing the walker. Because Leia's like telling Han, step on him, and as soon as he tries, it's just like zoop. Vader just goes zoop, and he's like, what the? And he's like, yeah, he's using their Force, and there's like, it was good stuff. Um, don't Chewie's was not in this issue, but it was also interesting to see what's going on with CP32. Yeah, so um, but it was good. This was really good. Artwork was great. Storytelling good as well. All right, and we end Marvel on just a fun book. Um, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number two. Um, oh my God, this is just so freaking funny and amazing. Um, Chewy, you know, Tippy Toe, you know, Squirrel Girl's little squirrel friend tells Squirrel Girl that there's a metal sphere coming to Earth. Inside that sphere is none other than the big G himself, Galactus. So Chewie says, "You got to stop Galactus." And she's like, "Me stop Galactus? Are you crazy?" And she's like, "Yeah, well, we can't get help right now, so let's just." So, so Doreen and Tippy Toe sneak into the Avengers Mansion, Stark Tower, and try to steal one of Stark's Tony's armor. Does she? Not gonna spoil it if she does, but I couldn't believe how she was getting past all these security systems. It was so funny. It's like, wow, this is Avenger Tower, and it's being that easily. You know, the security's getting easily to get past. I thought it was funny. Um, however, be, she looks like, oh, okay, here she goes. She's gonna go off to stop Galactus. She runs into her opposition, and it's one of Iron Man's Rogues Gallery, by the name of Whiplash, and I was like, and it ends right there. So I'm like, oh, but I don't want to spoil too much, but this was just a fun. This has just been a fun book, um, so fun. It, that's all I can say. It's just so fun. North and Henderson, you guys do just a bang up job with the title. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up with the DC books. One more issue to go with Aquaman and the others. Mr. Jurgens, um, Medina, well done. So, what looks like the prisoner of war, one of the his the soldiers that are inside of him, looks like he had took over his mind, and it is true, and looked like he killed Yawara, the jungle girl who controls cats and stuff. But unfortunately, it was all part of Aquaman's plan. They all knew that the original man, who is the prisoner of war, which is what's his name? What's prisoner of war's real name? Um, um, oh god, what is his name? Dominic Torres. That's his name. And they they're able to literally exercise that spirit from Dominic, which is really cool. I love how they were able to do it. It made perfect sense because the prisoner of war has the spirits of soldiers who died for their country, and I love how they did it. I thought it was really cool. I'm not gonna spoil how they exercised that one spirit, but it made sense. And then the Aquaman and his team take the fight to the what are they called? What are that group called? Um, um, oh, what is their name? Um, oh God, I'm forgetting their name. Um, what is their name? I forget the group's name. That um, Chaos. I believe. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah, Chaos. Yeah, and they take the fight to them. However, looks like they were gonna blow up their headquarters, Aquaman and the others' headquarters, which is a huge yacht. Um, didn't work because the operative actually put a virus in, which was really cool. And but unfortunately, one of Chaos's uh, members, I think he's called the Nevida Demon, um, sets a missile and is coming towards Earth, and that's where it concludes. To the conclusion, I think there's one more issue before this gets canceled. This getting canceled. Why? Why is that getting canceled? Detective Comics, number 39. Manipool Uccello. Oh my God. This is part 3 of Anarchy, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I will not spoil this book at all. This was great. I'm not even spoiling it. I'm sorry. Grayson, number 7. Tim Seeley, though, good job with this. Dick has to battle the group called the Kingdom of Cain, and they're controlling people with mind control. Not only that, he's in the clutches of the Midnighter, and he's able to get free. I will spoil that. And he actually kind of teams up with Midnighter after they fought in the last issue. And I must say, Dick beat Midnighter in hand-to-hand combat. I was impressed. I was like, wow, you beat Midnighter. But then Midnighter had to cheat. I was like, sucker. But other than that, this was good. It's really, once again, Mr. Seedley continues to look through the eyes of how Dick is seeing the world, and he talks a lot about, you know, that he misses being Nightwing. He talks about it all the time, and he also talks about who was his net. When his parents died, who was his net to catch him from killing himself. We all should know who that was. But this is still good, and there's a funny scene here. Helena, she to break her mind control, she kisses Dick, and Dick even says it. So you remember that passionate kiss we shared? And she like, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought that was funny. All right, Green Arrow, number 39. Um, all right. So John King, has pretty much cleared Ollie's company's accounts. Cleared it out. He's literally broke again. He's broke. A little bit of help from his former girlfriend. The city has kind of turned on him. Felicity is now in custody by the law. She was sent to a supermax prison, and inside that supermax prison, she runs into this person on the cover, and Cheetah is looking for a little bit of payback for what Felicity did to her, and Ollie and Diggle need to get her out of there. They decide to break into that prison to get her out. Um, and Pretty much that's the gist of the storytelling. And Ollie trying to just wrap his hands around what the hell he's supposed to do with John King. He can't turn to everybody because everybody's kind of turned against him. But John says, we called in a favor to some of your friends. And that's who they called. Batman, Kitana, I believe. I'm not sure who that is. Cupid, uh, Roy, and I believe that's his sister up there as well. But yeah, this was good, very good indeed. I love what Felicity said when she got rescued. Nobody ever comes for me. And she kisses Ollie. I thought it was interesting. Green Lantern, number 39, faced with the verdict of the Guardians. Venditti and Billy Tan. Um, this was good. It was, but also kind of sad. The reputation of the Green Lanterns has really plummeted. It's it's really plummeted. Nobody, the galaxy, don't really trust them anymore. The Guardians see this, so they call for Hal to come back to Earth, come back to Mogo, because that's where they are. And he's like, okay, let's hear it. You know, Ollie's like, all right, let's hear it. What's the verdict? What you guys gonna do? And I love the line, and I gotta read it because it was so funny. It made sense. I love what Ollie said. Ollie, what Hal said, excuse me. Um, you know, there's a lot of distrust. They don't know what to do. You know, the Green Lanterns, a lot of distrust, and I love what Hal. You know, Hal is like, okay, and so he says, okay, get on with it. He says, let's go. And then the Guardians are like, have we done something to upset him? And one of them says, I can't imagine what, but humans are emotional, turbulent species. And he says, call it a hunch. Last time I was called on the carpet, I was sent away involuntarily, leave. The time before that, I got booted from the Corps and replaced by Sinestro. So I'm not expecting any of you to pin a medal on my chest. I thought that was really funny. I was like, he's got a point. Anytime Hal is called in front of the Guardians, he's either gonna get something's gonna get. It ain't gonna end pretty. But distrust between the Corps is felt all over the galaxy now, and the Guardians know that. And that's pretty much what the gist of this story is all about. Um, and even the Guardians even say, like, we need your help as the leader of the Guardians. We need you to. We need, you know, we need your help to regain that trust. I love what one of the female Guardians she says. And here she is right here talking to Hal, even touching him in the face and everything, like a motherly, like holding his face, and she says, "We have heard you called the greatest Green Lantern of all, having triumphed over unfathomable times and time again. It may even be true with though young, you have spent more time among the worlds and peoples that any of we ancients have. As such, we are relying on you. Will you help us reclaim the Corps' good name?" Really good. And you got to look at Hal's face right here. He's like, he's kind of smiling, but it's like, oh. And it ends with this ending is like, whoa, what the hell, Hal? Okay. But other than that, good, solid. It was solid. And last but not least, uh, Earth 2, guys. Number 31. All right. As as good as this was, once again, it still pisses me off that, once again, a story that starts in this book, now I gotta go to Earth. Uh, I gotta go to what's the name of that issue? What's the name of that series? Earth 2 Wars End, to understand what's going on in this. It's focused on Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate goes right to Apocalypse and takes the fight. Something happens to Naboo. Things go sour at times, but Khalid is able to regain Naboo. But once again, it bothers me because now I gotta find out what happens next. I gotta go read another Earth 2 book that I have no qualms of reading. It's like, once again, as I said before, DC, you just prostituted this title now, Earth 2, and now you needed to have Earth 2 this, Earth 2 that, Earth 2 that. Why? You should have just kept it with one solid book. It's going well. Now, if you want to read what happened in that story, you got to go read another book. It was good, but it's just like, it's all about this now. And hence, that book is ending too. Whatever. But other than that, guys, that is all I have for this week. I will see you guys next time. As always, I hope you guys will be well, be safe, continue to read, my fellow comic geeks. And this is my running kid, the Omni Geek High Lord of New York, saying, Avida Zen, Tata, I bid you adieu.